All right, a good morning to everyone. Welcome to Look Beyond Your Domestic Market webinar hosted by Meekco.Asia and DHL Express Malaysia. If you can hear my voice, please type yes in the chat box. My name is Cici, your moderator of today's session. Yes, I see some response. My name is Cici, your moderator of today's session. While we are waiting for the rest of the participants to settle in, let's talk about some house rules. First of all, if you haven't already, please mute your mic. And if you hover your mouse to the bottom of the screen, there's a Q&A box on your bottom right. If you have any question for the panelists later, please post it in the Q&A box. If you can't see it, please hover your mouse at the bottom of your screen and you should be able to see it. Let's wait a few minutes more for all attendees to be here. All right, I think we are about to ready to start. For those who just joined, I'm Cici. Hi everyone, I'm Cici, your moderator of today. So there are some pretty exciting topics lined up in our agenda today. First, let me introduce all three of our panelists here. First up would be Katie, Growth Director of Meekco.Asia. She'll be sharing about Facebook partnering and exclusive cross-border insights to everyone. After Katie, there will be Kahing, the co-founder of Meekco.Asia. He'll be speaking about Shopify Plus and cross-border success stories. And our last speaker is Alvin, Head of Business Development and Strategy of DHL Express Malaysia, a familiar name we all know. And he'll be sharing about connecting businesses around the world and the importance of logistics. Once again, a reminder for everyone who came in, if you didn't mute your mic, please do. And please look at the bottom of your screen. There's a Q&A box on the bottom right. If you have any question for the panelists later, please click on the box and put it in. Our team will answer your question as soon as possible. If not, there will be a Q&A session at the end, and we will let the panelists tell you your answer directly. All right. Without further ado, let's start our session. I'll pass the stage to Katie. Katie?
Hi, sorry. Hi, thanks, Cici. Nice to see everyone today. From the sign-up list, I think I know there's some guests tuning in from around the world, like the Philippines, Singapore, Korea, and Australia. So let's get started. I'm Kathy from Meekco.Asia, and today we're going to share some tips and insights on growing global without the growing pain in this cross-border webinar. Together with our global partners such as Facebook and Shopify, I think some of our friends are here too from Facebook, and DHL Express. I'm super proud of my team because we had created not only success stories, but also many success global e-commerce businesses. Let's go to the next slide. And a little intro, as a full stack conversion marketing company, we help high growth retailers and brand owners to build and grow their global e-commerce. With the addition of Facebook Marketing Partner Badge on top of our Shopify Plus and Facebook Global Partner Recognition this year, makes Meekco a powerhouse for digital conversion marketing. We believe that the future of retail is not just local offline or even O2O. It's beyond that. It's the new retails consists of O2O, omni-channel, and omni-location with unified brand presence, all at once. We aspire to be the essential of e-commerce, connecting the dots of platform, marketing, and operation technology with our global partners and in-house expertise for our clients. With this, we also serve Fortune 100 company with our growth hacking skills. So why Southeast Asia e-commerce and how? So regardless you're an agency, brand owner, or service provider today, we want to help educate and connect the dot of the supply and demand chain. These are some sad images of KL's top 3 shopping mall last year during the lockdown. You can see that the sales are highly impacted by the pandemic. So despite the challenges, retailers who had adopted e-commerce earlier can and has experienced an e-commerce growth of 5 times or more. And now a lot of them are more willing to invest and enhance their store, power up, and grow cross-border with us. Imagine there's many successful global e-commerce brands right now, which have gone public or built multi-billion business, had not existed 3 years ago. This slide shows the internet users growth of Southeast Asia in 2020. What's amazing in this growth is the data is showing a significant growth of not 1 or 2 million, but 40 million new internet users in 2020 during the pandemic. Next, let's look at the latest 2021 active e-commerce penetration in the Asia Pacific region from Statista. And you can get the top 3 countries from Southeast Asia, which are Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia. And of course, we take into the language consideration barrier as well. In order to validate the data, we did our own validation research, matching with the growth rate of our partner Shopify's app user data. And we can see that the Southeast Asia countries indeed shows a significant growth rate. So what else did the pandemic change other than the e-commerce growth? The pandemic has also changed the behavior of the online shopper checkout payment method in 2020. So let's look at the cash section, especially for like Indonesia. We always have the concept that they only accept COD and not card payment. But look at the statistic, we have those countries who previously heavily rely on COD payment has started to adopt the bank payment method when shopping online, which includes the credit card and bank transfer. So what does all those validation means for your Southeast Asia cross-border e-commerce growth? It's about finding your market fit, and we have helped to scout the next go-to-market. And next is to make sure your product pricing is right, get your infrastructure up, such as your headless commerce integration, marketing automation, offline and online POS system as well, etc. And get ready quickly. Find the right team or partner who has the experience and expertise to make it happen, and make sure your products are ready to be purchased globally. So in conclusion, here's our Meekco's top 3 countries recommendation to start your Southeast Asia cross-border e-commerce growth in 2021. And with less barrier, huge e-commerce market value opportunity, and smartphone mobile penetration, as you can see here. And lastly, we share our top secret. Just kidding. Just with our Meekco's copyrighted agile launch strategy, we help to boost your e-commerce engine to an inflection point where we then expand and multiply your e-commerce stores and sales. And all when you're ready and willing to grow your business to the world. So without taking too much time, I'll hand over to my co-founder, Kahing, to share the exciting bits of this webinar. And don't forget to stay tuned till the end for a surprise. Over to you, Kahing.
Thank you.
All right, we have a poll in progress. Thank you, Katie. I hope you all have a good warm up. Let's keep the momentum up. And I see some answers on the poll. All right, let me end the poll right now. Kahing, over to you.
All right, thank you, Cici. Give me a second. Let me share the screen. Hello, can everyone see my screen?
Yes, Kahing.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Yeah, thank you. The introduction by Cici and the insight that Katie has shared. So we believe that just now the few slides will help you to have a summary or what you have learn from the internet about the Southeast Asia cross-border. So for us, it's very simple. Oh, before that, my name is Kahing. I'm a co-founder of Meekco.Asia. I think I'm a familiar face in the Shopify meetup and the webinar. So I know that few of you we already know, but right now is continuous learning. I want to share more on our past year experience about the cross-border. For me, it's very simple. I want to make sure that my skill set and my team skill set can be shared upon the retailers, in this part of markets, so that you are not only sell in one country, you can sell onto 3 countries instead at this time. For example, why not? Why you need to focus on one country? Yeah, so that you can expand actually your geolocation for your sales. Let me just share top 5 challenges that the cross-border e-commerce business, why people hesitate to do it, and also why some of the people tried it but failed, and then they will say, oh, the return is not there, the cost is high. But for us, we have been, for the last year especially, we are helping few of the top, growth merchants that are ready onto e-commerce, and we find that the challenge is here. First of all, is the payment method. A lot of people, when they sell onto the other country, they overlook on the payment method, or they may not overlook, but they do not know how to connect to the right payment methods. Example, let's say I am in I'm a Singapore seller. I want to come to Malaysia and sell. So what should I do on collecting the payment? Previously, if in Singapore, I may be using some Singapore gateway, or I may using some international gateway like Stripe or PayPal. But in Malaysia, what we prefer in Malaysia, what are the consumer preferred in Malaysia? They might overlook that. So when you overlook that, there will be people abandon the cart. And example, in Malaysia, they are famous. They like the shopper behavior is about 30 to 40% of them. They like on we call FPX, is online transfer. So that is the issue that, yeah, this group of people that may not have credit card or debit card, but they have a bank account to transfer the payment. But in your page, in your store, you don't have that available. Of course, the dropout rate of the checkout will be increased. And then on the second point is on the checkout currency. So the checkout currency is, what is the currency that I'm going to pay? Example, let's say I am an Indonesian. So I so used to my Indonesian currency, which is Indonesian rupiah. But in that case, when I check out, I saw that is in Malaysia ringgit example. So what will I do? I will feel skeptical that, wow, if I pay, this guy didn't ship the goods, what will happen? You get what I mean? So that is one of the way that we should look into that as well. And of course, there are a huge seller. I met some guy from Australia that when they want to sell onto Malaysia and Singapore, they will say, yeah, not that moment, because we try that in certain country, then the tax and regulation. So for this part is also very important that as a e-commerce cross-border agency, we will help you to make sure on this part, we will take care for you. And the fourth challenges is on the localization. Localization here cover a lot of things. Localization of your ads, of your campaigns, localization on your web content, even localization on your notification email. When people purchase, you will receive a notification of the order. Yeah, thank you order, or all this stuff should be on. Are you ready onto the local language? So in here again, when this is not in local language, people will feel strange. You will have no confidence to purchase. So how we suggest is we want to make sure that your page look like their page. I mean, look like their country seller. So that they will have a good familiarity on the UI, the experience inside your store, everything, and then they will recommend people to come and purchase. So of course, the fifth point is where next Alvin session will talk about is the shipping cost and time. Shipping cost and time is a huge challenge, especially when distance involved and also the custom clearance involved. So when people want to purchase, for me, I want it by tomorrow. So if I purchase from overseas, my expectation is maybe 1 week, or if not the max 2 weeks, or else I will feel unsafe. Then I will start calling the customer service of your store already. Hey, where's my product? And of course, there is also on the shipping cost involved. So there is 2 items involved here. One is the cost. One is the quality. I mean, how fast the delivery is. So when you negotiate with a good delivery company, so these 2 have to take into consideration. People will cancel order if your shipping cost is too high. I mean, that's obviously everyone knows here. That is the percentage here. And we have a lot of other challenges, which it could be even your social media campaign. I mean, that could be another topic on how to make conversion, engagement, so on and so forth, where your content and your phases on that ads, how does it go about it? And also on the product pricing, I believe that how I advise the client is we need them to ready to sell to overseas, meaning that they have a good experience in their domestic country and they have a good pricing, they have a good product market fit. So that is where is the challenges is some people they're not recognized. They didn't realize that the product market fit is not there. As a e-commerce consultant, cross-border consultant, we will just advise our client accordingly. And when you are growing and your inventory control, so when I purchase only you found out that, oh, I don't have stock, Mr. Kahing, so what should I do? So if you have a lot of cases like that, then the user experience in your store is again, they may give a not so good review on that part. And of course, the other things that we can talk about is on the technology and platform. Again, that is a huge topic again. How to optimize your website, how to do the the diverting of each language of the store to different countries visitor and sample and so on and so forth. And on the other hand is the customer support. It's just like your local language support and stuff like that. So in order to give you a perfect landing strategy, so Meekco.Asia is here together with Facebook and also with Shopify and Shopify Plus. So we are actually working as an ecosystem here, helping each other, and together with other e-commerce ecosystem partner like DHL and also payment gateway like PayPal, Stripe. So we have a strong ecosystem here. In APAC here, we do all cross-border selling with these few guys. And when you onboard with us for our service, we provide the number 1 to number 7 end-to-end one-stop service. So that we can actually connect you with the right people, right person to talk to, even negotiate on behalf. And we even help you to do the tax planning and help you to set up a local entity if needed when you are growing. So this is the one-stop services that we have to help Facebook advertiser to increase their success rate in APAC. And right now, let me quickly go through a few success stories that we have. And sample, this is the three customers that we have helped on 2020, how to grow cross-border. You can see, you can read the number itself. And we are very proud that we able to help to contribute a little bit of our knowledge together with our ecosystem partner. We built multiple store. Let's say, for example, this customer Bonia. Before that, they are good in their start doing e-commerce in Malaysia for the past 4 years. And when the pandemic hit, everyone panicking. And what we do is we will advise them, hey, why not you go to Singapore and expand the website to accept Singapore dollar and sample, so on and so forth. So from there, we go one country by one country. And we can see a significant sales increase, not only on the domestic market, but also cross-border. Same to another customer, Solar Time. We work together with a Facebook team, to drill down how to run the funnel for them and build it. So we also work with some of the Facebook agency, ad agency as well. For the customer like Al Fumaira, they have a Taiwan agency that running the ads for them. For us, we just help them to optimize by retargeting in others area like platform, localize their content, so on and so forth. And then we work together as a close partner. And we believe that partnership is very important. Not only just one agency can cover all, and we need all help in the ecosystem. So, and lastly, I want to share about what I learned from my client, why some clients success and some clients hesitate to try. So this is some 10 criteria that I list down for you to, as an owner or as an agency, that that how that you can help to educate your client or as a boss, what criteria you should have in order to be success. On the character is very important, and on your ambitions, on your believing in technology and data, and of course cross-border, time to market, so on and so forth. And most importantly, I found one thing is they work closely with the partners. The merchant work closely with us, and they want to grow our business together with them as well. So that is one of the criteria. Then the expert will help you to run your store instead of yourself, and your team will be focusing on your strength. And we work as a good team all together. This is my takeaway for the pandemic hit. So I see a lot of business suffering because we deal with more than 100 over. We built more than 100 over e-commerce store before, and people I will still keep in connection with some of them, and some are our major client, key account client. So I feel that the important thing is you need to be fast. Then how to be fast? Because the pandemic accelerated the time. Is just like right now it's 2021. It could be the scene in 2025. Let's say 4 years or 5 years accelerated. But our skill set, our team, it depends on us to slowly organically build our team. It's very slow. You need to team up with expert. The expert will grow together with you. The expert need you to grow so that the ecosystem will grow. And example, let's say, in the Southeast Asia, we need people to push, to push that, to educate, so that their success story in Asia, in Asia Pacific e-commerce will be more. All right, so this is my last slide. This is usually my slide when I'm pitching onto my Grow client on Shopify Plaza, and also running some Facebook marketing job, So if you need more information about how we can help you, and you are ready to cross border, please give us a note here. You can scan this out, and later you can copy our email, or you can contact any one of us here today in the panelists. All right, let me pass to Alvin. So if you have any Q&A, any question, remember, go down to the box of Q&A there at the admin panel of Zoom. Then you drop up your question there, then we will answer you. Thank you. Elvin, you can take over.
Right. One moment. Thank you, Kahing. I've just put out the number 2 poll asking, do you ship from your local warehouses? Let's give a minute for the attendees to answer the poll first. All right, I hope all of you are keeping your energy up because our next panelist, Elvin, will be sharing. Passing the spotlight to you, Elvin.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everyone. By way of introduction, my name is Elvin. I've been in the air express industry for too long, 25 years to be exact. I've been with companies such as CityLink locally, line haul companies, TNT, and
Hi, Elvin. I think your screen has freeze.
Hi, everyone. Just a quick check. Do you see our screen well? Or if it's stuck, please put in the chat box and let us know. All right, please give us a moment.
If you have any questions, just feel free to drop your questions in the Q&A, and we want to answer your questions, as much as we can, about cross-border.
Yeah, guys, sorry about that. I think Elvin just private message us that the computer suddenly frozen. All right, so yeah, I think Kathy is right. So do you have any question about on cross-border, and then what do you feel that how we can help, and any information that you would like to know, we can just share for you.
All right, we have one question here from Liz. Which markets are readily accepting Malaysia products? Kahing or Katie, can you answer to that? Let's take a look at our chat box.
Okay. I think it depends on what product we are selling. So it's in fact, as a global trend, the global purchase, I mean cross-border purchase is actually quite have a significant increase. If not mistaken, from the numbers that Facebook data that we have, I think it's about 40 to 50% right now. People, it's okay to purchase from cross-border. It just regardless of what product, as long as the product is suitable for me to use. Example, let's say I want to buy a book right now. If I go online, it could be a Malaysia bookstore, it could be a Singapore bookstore, or even if the bookstore is located in Europe or in Australia. So as long as the book pricing and is what is fit what I want, and the book title is what I want, then I'm okay for it to ship from overseas into my doorstep. It's just, again, we will rely on the shipping fee as well. So don't worry, you can test it out. For me, if you are a Malaysia brand, you can start with Singapore, the nearest country, to have a test on that. That's my answer.
All right, I think our host Alvin is back in the webinar. Thankfully. Let's give a moment.
All right.
Let's answer another question while we are waiting. From Fan, she's asking, how fast can I open the first cross-border market?
Okay, I think I am more I think I'm more hands-on on the building a store or duplicate a store. Okay, the good news is if you are a Shopify user, I can duplicate your store in between a month with everything QC and everything functioning. It will be within a month. We will have some hack for you that we can connect a quick gateway, payment gateway that locally suits, and we will give you some tips on how to ship with the right partner and how to do the clearance and so on and so forth, and then let you quickly run your store at that particular country. And sample, let's say you are from Singapore or Australia, I want to build you a store in Indonesia. If you have a Shopify store, I can actually quickly duplicate within a month. If you are running on other platform, what I can suggest is either we can upgrade you to Shopify or Shopify Plus, or if not, I will suggest you to open a test store with Shopify, because Shopify, we are the expert, and secondly, it really works for cross-border selling. That would be, again, is I will take all your products, separated it into one store, and then into a new store with Shopify, and then we can start selling together with all the campaign that we have with Facebook, Instagram, and so on and so forth, and run you some content, SEO stuff on that store onto local language. So that could be another, if that approach on the new store, it could be about 1 to 2 months or so, depending on number of SKU and how complex is your product. Good question.
Thank you, Kahing. Alvin, are you ready to get back on?
Yes, yeah, can you hear me loud and clear? Sorry, there was
Yes.
the network just hung for a bit.
All right, let's pass back to Alvin.
Okay, so yeah, so I just ran through the agenda. We'll just jump into some numbers straight away. I'd like to share with you some numbers that we pulled out for Jan 2021 in terms of percentage of internet users aged 16 to 64, and some numbers here. So 81.5% have searched online for a product at a service on any type of device, maybe a PC, tablet, or a mobile device. 90.4% visited an online retail site or store. So this is, I mean, the numbers are looking pretty nice. 69.4% used a shopping app on a mobile phone or on a tablet. And just to highlight this, in Southeast Asia, we see more mobile phone penetration versus PCs and laptops. So that's good, I guess, because most people are connected via mobile. 76.8% purchased a product online using any device, and 55.4% purchased a product online using a mobile device. Now, these are global numbers. We'll just jump into some additional numbers here. So in terms of e-commerce adoption, these are global numbers, but look at the number of Southeast Asian countries that are leading the pack. So this kind of validates the number that Kathy shared earlier, right? Top 3 being Indonesia, Thailand, and Malaysia, who's leading the way in Southeast Asia and even Asia Pacific in terms of e-commerce adoption. And we truly have seen this through our own numbers. So with DHL Express out of Malaysia, we've seen growth exceeding 50-60% since the pandemic started, right? And obviously, what we've also seen is the type of products that are being sold are non-standard products, ranging from things like home appliances, garden stuff, as well as medication that are being moved. Because Malaysia, for example, was a hub for medical tourism. And as these people can't travel, we are now able to send their prescribed medication over. So Asia and Southeast Asia is looking set to poised to be, leading in terms of e-commerce growth. Okay. Oops. Okay, so what do you need to do? I guess to get into a market, you have, our friends like Kahing and Kathy who could do that for you, but you might want to also do a bit of research on your own in terms of the markets you want to penetrate. So be confident in choosing your markets after you've done some research. For example, if you're looking to export out of Malaysia, you can reach out to bodies like Martrade to understand which are the top 10 lanes where e-commerce is going to. Right? In Malaysia, our major export market for e-commerce would be the United States. Yeah, and then followed by the likes of Singapore, Australia, and the likes. Just hang on. Okay. Yeah. So you have agencies in Australia like Austrade. You can get some numbers off there. And from whichever country you're from, you might want to just look into your Ministry of International and Trade or the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade. They usually have such figures to support the local exporters. Yeah. Point number 2 would be potentially to look into countries that you want to, get into. And I'm sure if you already have a website running, you would have heard of a particular tool called SimilarWeb. SimilarWeb will be able to show you some web analytics on where your visitors are coming from, and things like that. That will help you understand, how you can position yourself better in those countries where you're getting your traffic from. On a regulatory affairs as well as from a shipping point of view, you might also want to look into free trade agreements. Free trade agreements are also a plus point if your country has free trade agreements with, say, the US or Korea. More often than not, it's a lower cost of entry for exports for your products going into those countries, right? Last but not least, we also have country commercial guides. So you can reach out to us. We have some country commercial guides that we can share with you from DHL itself, and we could help you understand to maneuver in terms of logistics into a particular country that you want to get into. So what do you need to do? You need to do a bit of research. You need to select the markets you want to enter. Yeah. At the same time, you want to develop a strategy. So strategy here could be, for example, Indonesia is a huge market, but getting a B2C item into Indonesia is one of the toughest things on the world to do, to be very honest. So what you could do with Indonesia is use a B2B2C strategy, whereby you get your goods in as a B2B movement, and then finally distribute using competent final mile providers in Indonesia itself. But most other countries like Singapore, Brunei, and all that, you can have a central warehouse and fulfill from that central warehouse. I'll explain more as we move along. In terms of selecting a market to enter, if you're doing cross-border and you want to control fulfillment yourself, I would suggest then picking countries where the de minimis value is high. So what's de minimis value? We will touch on that in a short while as well. Also look at specific conditions and regulations of a certain market. There are markets that are e-commerce friendly and markets that are not e-commerce friendly. So as you do your research, you will come across certain areas where you need to fulfill. I'll give you an example of what's happening now in Europe. In Europe, they're tightening things around e-commerce from 2 points. One is because there's a lot of cheating happening for products going into Europe, where people do a lot of under declaration, because the de minimis value into Europe is only 22 euros. All right, for example. At the same time, there's also a new policy that will start on the 1st of July, where any product going into Europe needs to have a CE marking, which is a certificate of approval that your product has gone through the various testings in Europe and has received that particular marking. Yeah. Okay. In terms of getting into the international market, I guess the first thing you need to do is start looking at integrating exporting into your business plan. You may be already serving the domestic market. So what do you need to do? I guess you need to start understanding, cross-border trade, what are the duties and taxes, what's the total landed cost, so you can incorporate that into your sales planning, your sales pricing, and things like that. What you also want to do is to ensure that you have enough resources and capacity ready. I'll give you an example. A British buyer from the UK, they look at availability of stocks, right? They want things fast. They want things immediate and available. They may be a long-time customer of yours, but at the moment you don't have the stock readily available, they will look at the next closest provider, all right? 2, plan your market entry. So how do you enter? What markets you want to enter? Always study the regulatory and market peculiarities that are available in each country. For when I say market peculiarities, we're looking at de minimis values again. We're looking at certain items, what is acceptable for import into that country. Certain things like, for example, certain types of toys are not allowed into certain markets. Like into Singapore, toys have to comply with all the regulations and approvals of the right ministries, right? So that is also important to understand. So developing a global presence, I guess you need to find your foreign buyers. So how do you do that? You reach out to people like Kahing, they'll sort you out for your B2Cs, your B2Bs, yeah, B2B e-commerce and stuff like that. But you also, like I mentioned earlier, certain countries where it's difficult, you might want to look at a B2B2C kind of entry. Yeah. Number 4, looking at a reputable payment gateway and in multi-currency. I think Kahing and Kathy has touched on that. I think that's very important. Selling just in USD alone may work for Western countries where the pound or the euro is strong. But in Asia, you might want to have that in local currency. That will definitely spur buying as well. Educate yourself on the next steps is something that you need to do. You need to work on understanding export requirements, all right? And this is where we can help you out, right? In terms of understanding export requirements to your chosen countries, right? Moving on. So in order to do that, you might also want to look at free trade agreements. Free trade agreements allow for market entry of certain products. For example, the RCEP will kick off. That will definitely lower tariffs and barriers into the countries participating in that particular free trade agreement. So looking at your product, you might want to do a bit of research to understand if that product then is part of the FTA agreement. If you see the link down there, which will, I think we will share the slides with you later, you can look into that link to get which countries, for example, Malaysia has free trade agreements with. And this information these days are quite readily available on Google. On the World Wide Web. So please, if you're from Indonesia, you want to get into Malaysia, you might want to do a bit of research, likewise from any countries that you want to import and export to. So the other good thing about free trade entry is mutual recognition of other countries' testing and certification processes. So for example, if you want to import an electronic device into Malaysia, you need to go through a body called SIRIM, that will then give you the accreditation. Likewise, like I just mentioned, if you want to get into Europe and be long-term with Europe, you need to get your CE certifications. Yeah, in the US, if it's for Example, if it's for a motorcycle part, then you need the Department of Motor Vehicles, or we call it Department of Transport, DOT certification. So there's all these kind of things that you might need to do. If you do get, if it's too much for you to comprehend, I mean, reach out to us. We can help you out as well, because this is things that we do day in, day out, right? Okay, and of course, with free trade agreements, you get lower duties. Thus, your total landed cost will be a lot more attractive versus a country that has no free trade agreements with that country you're exporting to. Okay. Now, we talked about de minimis earlier. De minimis is the cost of entry into a country where you don't get taxed. So for example, Philippines, you can export up to $194 a day to a person, and it will not be taxed. But this has to be CIF value, cost, insurance, and freight. So the cost of your product, the insurance cost that you would have taken. So usually we put a nominal $1, and the freight cost that DHL or whoever your supplier is providing to you. Have that all listed down nicely on your invoice, and you would have a very easy entry into markets that have high de minimis. So let's look at markets in Southeast Asia that has high de minimis. You're looking at Singapore at 400 Sing dollars, 400 Brunei dollars for Brunei, and $194 for the Philippines. Malaysia is not too far back at 119, but I guess this is something that we've always had. And at $119 CIF value, your item would reach into Malaysia tax-free. Okay. So if we look at Indonesia, it's only $3 for B2C, right? It makes it almost impossible to get things inside without getting taxed. So what I would suggest is a different kind of strategy when it comes to Indonesia and countries where the de minimis values are really low, which is to get a B2B entry first, and then use a local fulfillment company to get their final mile deliveries done. Here we have de minimis values for the rest of Asia Pacific. If you look at Australia, we used to get 1,000 Aussie dollars tax-free into Australia, but right now B2C shipments would be taxed at a 10% GST rate. However, if it's a B2B e-commerce movement, your 1,000 Aussie dollars de minimis is still valid. So if you're selling from company to company on e-commerce, you still get 1,000 Aussie dollars tax-free. Talking about free trade agreements, let's see how this has helped the Korean to US free trade agreement and those lanes. Everyone else into Korea, you get $150 de minimis, but if you're shipping from the US, you get 200. Yeah, so that's additional $50 in terms of de minimis. New Zealand is also the same, almost the same type of requirements as Australia. And of course, you see China is also pretty low. Now, China is a huge market. There's a lot of potential into China. If I can share with you a tip, the best way to ship into China, if it's not a B2B movement, but a B2C or a C2C movement, use the postal service. Yeah, that would be a way in, or use service providers that have a direct injection model where they ship it via freight and then it's re-injected into the postal network. That would enable you to get into China. Yeah. Now, so cross-border e-commerce sales channels, from what we understand, these are the four major players, ways of promoting e-commerce. And this is data that we've pulled from our own sources as well as sources, as you can see down below. So your website is definitely something that you need to have, even if you're selling on an online marketplace. The many people that we've interviewed in terms of buyers, they more or less, if they are buying from an online marketplace, the next thing they will do is to check whether you exist on a web, so they can come to you and possibly buy it from you without the marketplace cost, which ranges from anything from 16 to 34%, depending on the marketplace that you're on. right? So having your own website is truly important. It represents your brand. You get full control. You can, and you can really expound on your brand best practices and BDPs. Yeah, social media obviously is also important. It's all linked together. Again, if you are looking to establish something that is, or if you're selling something that's highly commoditized, then you might want to look at getting an in-country distributor as well. Yeah, because what we have seen in the past, more often than not, people are willing to pay up to 30% of the value of the goods for international cross-border shipping. Anything more, they might want to look at alternatives that they can get. So best place is to know who your customers are and which part of the channel mix they are purchasing from. But definitely your own website is a must, having social media presence is a must. And obviously you can drive traffic from your online marketplaces, such as, I wouldn't mention names, but the top 3, yeah, and drive them to your websites as well. Okay, so that was in general. I'm just going to have to talk a bit about my company, DHL Express, and what we do. We'll just do this really quickly. All right, so we've been in Asia Pacific for the longest time. We're market leaders in Asia Pacific. We do next day delivery to most places within Asia Pacific. So you talk about Kuala Lumpur to Bangkok, it's next day, Manila, Jakarta, and Singapore, and so on and so forth. It's all generally next day. We are served by, actually this should be 40 dedicated aircraft. We have 4 aircraft out of Malaysia daily as well. We are served by 4 mega hubs: Hong Kong, Bangkok, Shanghai, and Singapore. We've got about 7,200 vehicles and so on and so forth. Okay, those are numbers that are available on the internet. We're looking at connectivity in Asia Pacific. Okay, and these numbers generally are for most countries within AP. We're looking at 97.2% on-time transit performance, 81% cleared on arrival. So as it arrives, it's already cleared, and 95.2% on same day, right day delivery. So we really put a lot of emphasis into ensuring the parcel gets delivered within the specific transit times. And just to share with you, our bonuses are tied to these transit times. So everyone has placed their part to ensure that we get things delivered ASAP. All right, in terms of tools that we have to make your shipping experience easy, on your left, you had My DHL Plus. Now, if you're just starting off and you have 2-3 shipments, yeah, that's the best way to go. However, if you have a Shopify website and you're selling using Shopify, we actually have a plugin that's available that can enable you to do your, it's integrated to most platforms. You get live checkout. You are able to do address validation. So as your customer is keying in the address, if something is not right, they can't move further. I think this is very important because what you want to do is to give your customer that full experience, and we don't want to export a problem. Yeah, so we try to get everything right on the first try. It's also automatically shipped, so you can print out. So if you go to your Shopify dashboard, you look at your sales for the day, just click all and print it out. Yeah, so this is also available for other marketplaces and things like that as well. The next thing we have a sale is not done till a customer receives and opens his or her package, right? So what we have here is a on-demand delivery option that is currently free for any DHL seller and the buyer as well. We give you 6 options here. I'm sure all of you would have purchased something in the last 48 months. And at times when you're at work, your parcel has arrived, you're not at home, you get left with a, hey, I was here, you were not home, please give us a call and rearrange for deliveries. Now, that need not happen. We have this particular tool. As long as your customer provides a mobile number, he or she would receive a SMS link with a smart link, and when he or she hits it, it comes out to the page as you see on your left-hand side, right? From there, you see the 6 options, which is the similar options on your right. You get to change your delivery date, leave it in a safe place, leave it with a neighbor, concierge, or guard, collect at a service point, or lockers that we have in most countries, you can then choose to have an alternate address change. Now, alternate address is changed before the courier goes out, right? So the buyer has to be well aware that as soon as we do a pickup, they will receive notification that the item has been picked up, and that is when they make these changes. Yeah. Last but not least, we have vacation hold, where we can hold it in our warehouse free of charge for 30 days as well, as long as all of this is done through the app or the smart link that is shared with the customer. Yeah. At the moment, free of charge. Most people charge for this on-demand delivery. Us at DHL at the moment, it's free. I can't tell you whether it's going to be free forever, but for now, do enjoy it. And this has truly made the close the loop in terms of a full e-commerce buying experience. Yeah. Okay. Now, on the right-hand side here is a system that we have that you can get access to trade and customs information for to about 56 countries that represent 95% of where the world's trade goes to. Yeah. So if you want to understand, okay, I like to export into Indonesia, I like to get more information, our trade automation services can assist you. You just have to key in the information that is required, and it can provide you with information such as what's the duty and tax breakdown, what is the total landed cost, whether the item is restricted or banned in the country, and things like that. Yeah, so this would give you some form of research that you could do before embarking or opening up that particular country for sales. Yeah. Okay. Last but not least is we also look, if you're looking to make Asia Pacific as a new market for you, and you're looking to hub in a single point, look no further than the digital free trade zone that we have in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, where we could receive all your goods into a warehouse in the digital free trade zone, tax-free. So you're not paying tax, right? And there are many fulfillment companies within the DFTZ. We have a few partners as well, which we can introduce to you. They would then house your item, put it into stock locations. And when your item is sold, they can then ship it out from you, for you on your behalf from the DFTZ. Now, as I mentioned earlier, shipping out of Malaysia to all of Asia Pacific, it's largely next day. With the exception of Australia, it takes 1 to 2 days. And Australia is rather large, so major cities 1 to 2 days, outskirt areas plus another 3 days. Yeah, plus 3 days, we're talking about places like Alice Springs, and really far out areas. Now we're looking at next day transit to major ASEAN countries. It allows for free of tax as it comes into the airport area. It's a free zone area. We also are now in the midst of setting up, Malaysia as a country is setting up a sea to air infrastructure where you can actually bring it in by sea freight. Usually you would get taxed, but now if you're doing a transfer to DFTZ, it's again tax free. So you can have your inbound stocks coming in by sea and fulfillment via express or a deferred service. Yeah. Okay, so this would make fulfillment from a regional distribution center a lot easier. Yeah, so this would work for countries where you have high de minimis or where e-commerce has already matured in that country and buyers understand there are duties and taxes to be paid upon receiving the goods. Okay, but the advantage of the DFTZ here is you don't pay sales tax upon entry into the country because these are your stocks coming in. You get to stock it and you don't get your financials tied up in paying taxes. Right, that's the good thing. You get immediate air connectivity because you're based out in the airport, so it's immediate air connectivity out, and there are multiple service providers that you could possibly use for the various service levels that you want to offer your clients. All right, so with that, I've come to the end of my sharing. Please let me know if there's any questions I could help answer at the end of this. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Alvin, so much for the fruitful day and your insights.
All right.
All right. If there's any question, please do email us or put it into the Q&A box. If not, because of time constraint, we already did some Q&A session just now. You can screenshot. Okay, you can screenshot this slide so that you can get the email, ask us any question that you would like. If you would like to have the slide as well, you can email us and we will come back to you as soon as possible. All right, can Katie be sharing the screen? We are coming to our quiz right now. We have a surprise gift for everyone. There will be 3 gifts. So are you ready for the question? What will happen is that you can answer inside the chat box once you see the question. Are you ready? So if you are ready, please type yes inside the chat box so I know you guys are looking at the question. All right, 3, 2, 1. Question, please. Meekco.Asia is a what marketing company? What marketing company? Almost there? Almost there. Oh, yes. Rylinty said it's a conversion marketing company. You are correct. No problem. Don't worry, we have question 2 on the go. Congratulations. Now let's go to question 2. Meekco.Asia is a Shopify Plus partner, Facebook marketing partner, and Facebook what expansion partner. Oh yay, Eric got it right at the first go. Congratulations. So we will be sending you the gift. Please take our email later, email us so that you can get your gift later. And the third question, DHL, what is the minimum value for Singapore? This is a tough one. Wow, Eric. Did Eric got it right? I don't even remember.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
Liz C has got it right. Liz C.
Actually, David got it right just 1 second before Liz C. No worries.
But David Shin is okay.
David Chin. Congratulations to all 3 of you. First of all, I need to thank you all of you for staying true with us, even though there's a little bit of hiccup. They say good things for those who wait. So thank you so much for today's session. Thank you for the panelists for sharing all these insightful things. And that's the end of our session. For the winners, Eric To, David Chin, and Rylinty, please send an email to refresh@meekco.asia so that we can arrange for your gift shipping. All right, Kahing, Alvin, Katie, and everyone, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. See you again
Thank you,
next time.
everyone.
Bye.